Come on. Hey, let's go for the Rolex wear. Diamond ring wear. Kick stealing. Willie dealing. Limousine riding. Tech blind. Son of a gun. I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Now give me 2 claps in the rip flip. Woo!
So tell me about the early going for you guys, how it's been, and obviously whatever you're doing over there is working.
Yeah, we try to pride ourselves in being a physical bunch. I know myself, Dawson Hadnot, and Chance Partee, we try to instill in our younger guys that we're the greatest group in the conference. We're the greatest D-line room in the conference. And when you tell yourself that, I mean, you have to hold yourself accountable to that. And that's what we try to do. Yeah. We not only talk the talk, but we're going to back it up when we go out there on the field.
Yeah, well, you guys are certainly causing a lot of havoc, both in the run game and in the passing game for teams. And you come into the next game here, game number 3, the #1 run defense in the country. You guys are only giving up an obscene 2.5 yards a game, which is hard to believe. So how much of it is the depth? How much of it is having a lot of guys to get in there and staying fresh? What's been the key for you, think?
Yeah, that's one of the best things that we have is we're very deep. We have a couple of sophomores and a couple of freshmen. You know, I feel like we can go in and we can roll at least 3 groups deep and, you know, still come out with the same amount of production as if the ones were in.
Did you guys? Yeah, sorry. Did you guys feel a challenge coming in? I mean, again, there were a couple of guys that left last year, and maybe people weren't expecting as much from your unit coming into the season. Did you guys take that as kind of an opportunity maybe to show?
We take that as motivation. You know, we lost a couple of guys, a couple of Derek Floyd, Jonathan Wood, great players, awesome players that I learned, took a lot from their game and applied it to mine. But yeah, that underestimation is that's what makes us thrive as a group.
Yeah. What's the early going been like? You feel like offensively?
We show a lot of promise. Our offensive line is actually held in there for a young group that they say. They've actually been really strong at the point of attack, which shows in our rushing game. And they're real good in protection, too, with 2 receivers already with 200-plus yards with me and Jatavius. So just seeing that out of our offensive line, which was everybody saying our question mark, has been a big boost for our team going into the rest of the season.
Yeah, you and Jatavius have gone kind of back and forth. He's currently #1 in receptions per game in the league, and you're at 4, and he's #1 in receiving yards per game. You're at #2. So you guys have certainly, in the early going here, including one conference game, been pretty effective working together. Can you talk about that and how important it is to have multiple options and what that does for you individually?
It helps me out. He's a great change of speed for me. He's a space guy. He's able to move down the field real well. I'm more of a kind of catch it possession type receiver. So he puts the fear in defenses so that they have to back off and give me a chance to make a catch, 5-yard catch, turn it into 15 yards, stuff like that. He's great at catching bubbles or catching slants, as you see, and taking them 60 yards, 40 yards down the field. So.
Yeah. So back in the conference play this week, talk to me a little bit about your expectations. As Jordan was mentioning earlier, I mean, you guys have certainly had some success against Northwestern State. I know you'd love to keep that going this week and get back in their winning ways here on the Stripes. But what kind of challenge do you expect from the Demons this week?
Always, it's conference play. You always expect your best. Everybody seems to come at UCA and they want a piece of the Bears. So just to come through and get another win on the Stripes and go 2-0 in conference will be a real good boost for us.
Gain the freedom to fumble with the new water and shatter-resistant Samsung Galaxy S7 Active. Buy one now and get the Samsung Gear S2 for free, exclusively at AT&T.
Got to thank, small world, but Chris Freeman, a former quarterback here, was actually the guy that made the first call to UCA for me as a high school player. I was a guy that only played 1 year of high school football as far as playing the position of quarterback, so I wasn't a heavily recruited guy. I was this close to wearing green and gold, and I know that makes a lot of y'all cringe. But he made a call to one of his former teammates and Ken Collins at the time, who was the offensive coordinator here, Coach Collins and Clint Conk came and recruited me, and actually didn't even take an official visit, which is a big deal. And especially starting back 10, 15 years ago, official visits really got to be a big deal. Didn't even get a chance to take an official visit. Came up here on a Sunday after church. They sold me the dream, and, and I came on, and it worked out for me. All my teammates again. I wouldn't be up here without them. Offensive line, every single one of those guys kept me healthy and clean, and that's your plug, Struben. That's your plug. That's all you get, man. No, those guys deserve a lot of credit. And then last but not least, all the former players, all the trailblazers to this program. I can sit here and name them, and all the guys that are Hall of Famers or not Hall of Famers, wherever they were. But what a great program to be a part of. You look at the overall success of the University of Central Arkansas over the years in this football program, and it's second to none in the state. And a lot of national championships, a lot of conference championships, and now we're able to do it at the national level, at the Division I level, which is really neat.
I remember the first time I met Coach Ice and Coach Horton. Coach Horton came to our apartment and put his feet up on the couch. And I said, man, I'm looking around like, where we come from, we don't do that. And I know he was a keeper then. When he did that, I knew it. He was going to be here.
So last of all, I would like to thank you for allowing me to coach that 5th year. I don't think it was because you needed a coach out of me, but she wanted me to further develop my skills and see kind of what happens behind the scenes as a coach. And that really helped me. It's where I was able to develop my own coaching philosophy and plan my own program. I still use many of the things I learned back then, that 5th year, even today at Bryant. To all my coaches, to include ones I failed to mention, you taught me the value of this game. For me, softball didn't end in '99. I went to Russellville High School for 3 years, and then where I am now at Bryant for 13 years. I think the most important part of coaching is the development of relationship with players. For me, I have girls that have gone on to become nurses and teachers and doctors, and a lot of them are coaches. And so I think them being coaches, I would like to think they took some of what I taught them and are putting that in their program. And so the legacy of my coaches lives through me and now through them. I just appreciate that, and I hope that you see the role that you played in my life, and I appreciate that. Thank y'all.
One of my father's lifelong friends, Ray Harris, who played football for Hendricks against my father at then Arkansas State Teachers College, used to say, "The party can begin, Hoss is here." My father could jump like a horse over mud puddles, tackle obstacles at a dead run, and clear hurdles like nobody's business. He loved family, friends, fishing, and life in all its abundance. I spent hours as a child looking at my parents' 1935 and 36 scrolls at Helen Lucille Moore, Rosie, who married her high school sweetheart, Leighton Norman Gray, at them having fun, being involved in campus life, at pictures of my father's teammates whose name I grew up knowing, Ken Mosley, Forrest Dunaway, Turk Frazier, and Coach Thompson, and of course at my father's long legs, elegantly and seamlessly, effortlessly jumping those hurdles. My grandmother, his mother, Lily Gray, told him he could not play football. Her illusion lasted until he broke his leg in a game. But she relented about his sports involvement, I bet because she knew how much it meant to him and how good he was. He lived to be 94, and the sanctuary at First United Methodist was pretty nearly full because he was a fun, fine, humble, and very fast man. Thank you for this honor for him.
Buzz and Jerry Joe and all these guys, and a lot of others can tell you, when we played in the AIC or the Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference, it was really neat because you were playing with and against players you'd played with in high school or against. And some don't believe this, but after home games, we showered with the visitors in a big shower, and I don't remember one problem at all. It was really pretty neat. And even today, yearly we have the old AIC. It's ex-coaches and players golf tournament, and Vance Strange and Cliff Garrison head that up, and where from around the state, players and coaches come in. We have a good time. Some play golf and some just socialize. So it really, it's been good from the standpoint of not only has football and UCA been good to me from the lifelong friends I have here, but also statewide. And I thank you again.
First of all, I want to thank my parents, Don and Jan Strubing. Thank you for your hope. Oh, I'm going to get a little emotional here. Thank you for the love and the encouragement. They probably have more to do with me playing the game of football than anybody. I remember my first formal practice. My dad had to kick me out of the car because I was crying, because my coach had long hair and he screamed a lot. And my dad literally, was kicking me out of the car. And then he drove away, and there I was holding the helmet, tears rolling down my face. I said, there's nothing left to do, but I guess I'll go practice. And that's what it all started right there. And, one of the things, Coach Isom, he said, and it stuck with me through my whole coaching career, every day when it came time, when it came time to run sprints, run gassers, no matter where I lined up, and trust me, I hit every day. I'd line up a different spot every day so he couldn't find me. Well, he found me at the end of practice. And he'd stand there as I ran these gassers in this hot Conway weather. And he'd try to convince me that the faster, he'd say, Don, the faster you go, the cooler it will get. I have never found that to be true, but yet I use it my entire coaching career.
I did get to play with some great athletes, and Cliff has already mentioned them, those guys that he mentioned, Charlie Eagle and them. I can't say that like all the guys here and the rest of them that talk about how the stories they had. Cliff tried his best, but I was just a role player, not a star. But I did try to do my job and try to help those that were stars to be a better star. And we were told to rebound, me and Cliff. We were told to play defense and then get the ball to the stars. So that's what we did most of the time. I was lucky in another way. The years I was here, I got to not only get to play on championship basketball teams, but I got to see football teams, Henry Hawk, Bill Ed Tanner, Darrell Hall, these great players that won their championships. And then I got to see the track teams that won about 3 straight state championships. The Owen boys from, I think they are from Conway, and all them, but it was a fantastic 4 years that to me will be something always will be in my mind, how it was, you won't ever forget it, and I think it was something I learned to appreciate more and more each year, the unity and what you learn at then ASTC and then now UCA.
Staying fit is more than just a hobby to me, it's my passion. Living well and inspiring others to do the same is a full-time job to me. Maybe that's why I love what I do so much. Helping people heal from sickness or injury is what Baptist Health is all about. And the wellness I give back to my friends and neighbors makes me very proud. I'm Eric, and I believe amazing communities like Conway deserve amazing care.
Whew, it's hot in here.
It's your kickin' chicken sandwich meal. It really brings the heat. Is it hot enough?
Smoldering. I'm April.
I'm July.
Set your world on fire? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The Kickin' Chicken Sandwich Meal. Chicken fingers on Texas toast drizzled with tongue torch sauce and ranch. Served with crinkle fries and a small beverage. Only at Zaxby's.
You know, the way we go into it, I think I'm always thinking you got to get 8 wins on the regular season, and certainly losing one at home to a team that you were clearly better than is certainly it's an additional hurdle you put up for yourself, unfortunately, for Steve Campbell and his bunch. But still feel good. This team is outstanding. I'm very impressed with what we've seen. A couple of question marks have been answered. Linebacker play has been very good in the early going. I know you talked to Coach Campbell. We'll hear from him in a minute.
Yeah.
The offensive line, the other one, has been very good in the early going, and you know, it's a freshman that stepped up big time in the run game. Carlos Blackman has been outstanding, the freshman out of Gosnell. And I was thinking of a Bible verse this week, Isaiah 11:6, and a young child shall lead them. And he's the guy that's been doing it in the rushing department. They've got plenty of other guys who are going to contribute as we go on through. And Darian Daniels brings a lot to the table. Kelton Warren should get Jarvis Cooper back this week. But, boy, I tell you what, it would be hard to go away from the freshman from Gosnell. He's been outstanding.
Blackman's been fun to watch. He's averaging 5.1 yards a carry, over 100 yards last week, averaging 110 over the past 2 games. And he's a guy that we haven't seen get into the game, Justin, until about the second quarter. They've kind of held him back, and that's what you want to do for a freshman running back, because in high school his job was to do one thing, and that's run the football. Well, in college, they're going to ask you to do a little bit more. You're going to have to work out in the pass protection scheme. You're going to have to learn how to zone block, and they've tried to work him into the game a little bit later so he's not just thrust into a situation he's not comfortable with. But I don't think the other teams are comfortable tackling him. 6'1", 220 pounds. He is a hoss. And talking with coaches before the game, they said that even the coaches at Sanford last week were talking about how physically beat up they were on offense and defense because of how hard pounding that rushing attack has been.
Bears feel like they let one get away. They fall to 1-1 on the season. They're taking on a winless team in Northwestern State. The Demons come in 0-2, including a blowout loss at Baylor in Week 1 and a disappointing loss in conference play to Incarnate Word last week, 21-18. We'll talk more.
Everybody's got a job to do. Do not be sitting there watching. You be getting somebody jacked up. You be getting your teammate ready. If I'm on the sideline, I'm getting that guy that's out there ready to go. I'm his biggest fan. Did it go? You understand that? For 4 quarters, you hit them some bucks in the throat. You got a chance to be 2-0 in the Southland Cup. 2-0. Let's go.
It's go time.
Start fast.
4 quarters of pain, suffering, and humiliation. Let them know.
It's on, baby. It's on, baby. It's on, baby.
It's on, baby. It's on, baby.
So it will be Hack, the quarterback, handing off, nowhere to go. The Bears come in, leading the FCS and all of Division I football. Hack, handoff, Jones up the middle, and this time nothing.
Jones on the carry.
Stopped right at the 49. Jordan Toliver back in, had him on the coach's show this week. Impressive young man, and the Bear defense holds. Big time play by the Bears there. They tried to throw underneath, and it was to Jones, and he got stuffed. Play action. Hildebrand being flushed to the right side, looking downfield. He'll throw downfield. Has a man. It's Jatavius Wilson to the 30, the 25-20. Still running at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Central Arkansas, Jatavius Wilson. And what started out as a play that looked broken, Hildebrand kept it alive, and he had 2 receivers out there. Wilson was underneath, jumps up, grabs it, and then sprints between a bunch of defenders for the score.
I don't know who it was to, Desmond Smith or Jatavius Wilson, but it doesn't matter because it's a touchdown regardless. And that was a fantastic throw by Hildebrand, who bought just enough time rolling outside the pocket and finding his man downfield.
Caught it on the near side, finished on the far side, and a touchdown for Central Arkansas. Finally, the 2 running backs, one set to each side for Hack. He will hand off to Green, who's swallowed up immediately. And what a play by Cardell Best. He will stay in there, set behind Hildebrand. Gogler going out to the right side. Wells running to the right side across the 50 and knocked out of bounds. Play fake, throws it out left side. Jatavius Wilson has the first down and more, down to the 7-yard line. They're going to mark him out actually at the 6. Jatavius Wilson in motion to the left side. Hildebrand drops back to pass. Throws right side. Touchdown, Central Arkansas! and it is Desmond Smith. So his two leading receivers now have one each.
I'm sure that's the way they like it. Desmond Smith's going to be chasing anybody for receptions or touchdowns. He wants to chase his teammate. Hey, Desmond Smith 101 in the corner of the end zone. It's a 50-50 ball. Most of the time for him, I'd say it's at least 60-40 in his favor.
Well, and look, in a small amount of space, he created a pretty good gap between him and the defender. A really easy throw and catch for Hayden Hildebrand. And they will start this drive at their own 24. Handoff, Daniels, he squirts around the right side, out across the 30. Good blocking up front, across the 35 to the 39-yard line. An excellent run by Darian Daniels, got the first down and more. Smith in motion. Wells gets the handoff, goes around the left side this time. Bears trying to lay some blocks out there. Jatavius Wilson again get it. Wells breaks through, though, on his own, out to the 32-yard line. A big pickup right there. Chambers line up on the left side. He will come. Hack throwing right side. It is caught by McClain again. Coughs it up. And is picked up by the Bears. They're going the other way. That's a 40. And knocked out of bounds. A fumble recovery by Central Arkansas and a big-time turnover when they needed it right there. And one to the left. Hildebrand across the middle. It's Desmond Smith. First down and more. Smith still on a feed across the 20. Down to the 18-yard line. And a dart thrown by Hayden Hildebrand. Rolls right side. Looking downfield. Pulls it up. He's going to go all the way back across the left side. He's got lots of room. Hayden Hildebrand, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Central Arkansas. And another improvisational touchdown by Hayden Hildebrand. One throwing, one running, and that one was beautiful by Hayden Hildebrand. And you can see that sit up. The entire defense goes to the right sideline. He takes it all the way back across. Nobody's home. And Hayden Hildebrand had his easy cruise into the end zone. And Daniels behind him. Play action. Hildebrand looking down the left sideline. Up goes Desmond Smith. Down comes Desmond Smith with the ball. And another big completion for the senior wide receiver. Snap is back. Kick is up. And the kick is good. All right. Matt Cummins knocks it down. So the Bears come away with points. And the Bears hold on. 24-10. Scoring-wise, great defensive performance, but a few things to shore up before next week. Offensively, a few things to work on as well. At the end of the day, Bears win it by 14.
I felt like I did what I had to do when they called my number. So just trying to get a win. Right. All our running backs ready at all times. I've been waiting on this moment for a long time, so it felt real good to get that, that amount of carries. I feel like I did pretty good with it, but it's always room for improvement. I guess they just wanted to roll with me this game, so took advantage of it.
So Arkansas State's played a very, very tough schedule early, but they're an outstanding, they're an outstanding football team that will compete for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Extremely well coached. Blake Anderson, their coach, does an outstanding job. Defensively, they've got a guy named Joe Cawthon that coaches their defense. He was a D coordinator at Valdosta over the years. So a lot of familiarity with their staff. Their offensive line coach is a guy named Alan Rudolph. I coached Alan at Nicholls State 25 years ago. Their receiver coach, Luke Pascal. Luke coached for me down at Gulf Coast Community College 6 or 7 years ago. So there's a lot of familiarity with their staff, and our kids are really looking forward to this game because they played high school against a lot of these guys and followed those guys in the paper, went to camps with them, stuff like that as you do coming up. So will definitely be a lot of familiarity between the two programs. It's an in-state rival, and it's a game that we're very much looking forward to. And they're a great football team, but we're very excited about playing them. We're looking forward to traveling over to Jonesboro and having a great game on Saturday. Count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey! Family on one time. Family. Oh, Lord. Roll Bears.
Thanks to the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, more in-state students than ever are able to further their education. At the University of Central Arkansas, more than 25,000 scholarships have been funded since 2010. That's nearly $94 million in financial support for UCA students alone, which has made a lot of Bears growl with pride. The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, a game changer for students.